What's happening, y'all? This is me. You know who I am. Shouts out to everybody. Thank you. This one is funny because, like, when we do these streams, I see people when they pop in, when they're ready to do them. And, like, some people, when you're on camera, you got to make sure your camera ready. And I watched my next guest flick their hair and make sure their hair was okay. And I was like, no, you do your hair. What's up? How you doing, Jolene? She had to make sure their hair was ready.
Yeah, I'm good. I stopped doing makeup. I really need to get back into doing that for these things. But I was like, I have the day off. Most of the times I've just been lazy. And I don't want to, run out of my makeup.
Look, understandable completely.
Foundation is expensive.
Look, as somebody who I did a photo shoot for my headshots last year, I think it was, and I remember the photographer. She had a makeup artist who was her friend come along. She was like, "Do you have makeup?" And I looked at her like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Do I have makeup?" I was like, "No." So I had to go buy some, and so it was a thing. It was definitely a thing buying makeup. So it was expensive. Yeah. I was like, I just need some basic shit to cover my, because the one thing is I have my birthmark, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so my birthmark, doesn't let my skin tone be even. And so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So now I got a little thing of makeup that I use. I'm like, all right, let me make sure I apply this correctly.
Yeah, for the longest time I was doing it wrong. Like I was just like rubbing it in with my hands, and my friend's like, no, you got to dab with a sponge.
Hilarious.
I was like, oh, well, now I know. I'm like, oh wow, it does blend way better now.
Yeah, I was taking tissue. Your mic is a little hot, just so you know.
Okay.
I was taking tissue and doing it. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel like the same. I was like, whatever, we'll figure it out. Then I did a Q-tip, and I was like, I got to get something. I went to go buy makeup sponges. What's going on? What's been going on?
Not much. Annoyingly, I didn't know this was going to happen today. There's street paving outside, so if you hear loud noises passing by, it's because the window's open.
Don't worry about it. They've decided they're gonna start doing shit on my street, and then again, if this was Wednesday, like luckily this isn't Wednesday at about 2:30, because then they start doing all the fucking like lawn care maintenance, all the shit in my courtyard and everything, and it just is like,
oh yeah, it's always the worst. And like sometimes you're always afraid of like, this is gonna sound terrible in the microphone, but a lot of times other people can't hear it in the convo, so
yeah, you can hear it, no one else does.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's fine. Did you see Guardians?
Oh yeah, it was great. Look, it was
such an
incredible movie. Yeah, I'm shocked. Like I didn't cry during it, but I guess like I had cried the night before, so it was just like I guess I got it out for the week.
Oh, you got it out your system in advance?
I guess, I don't know.
I said, I knew we were in for a ride in the very opening 30 seconds. You see Baby Rocket get grabbed. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. It's very fun. Like, after watching, I was like, damn, another movie where Jay's predictions were way off, in which no one died. And I'm like, like, it was nice that, like, James ended it on a happy note, where it's just like, yeah, no, they can just go about their lives. If they want to come back, they can.
Because I think everybody was under the assumption Drax was gone. Like,
yeah, like
murdered.
Yeah, like we know Dave is done with it. I think like I can't remember her name. Gamora.
Yeah. She's done.
Yeah, like I mean, obviously, Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel, easy ones to return because they're just doing voice work.
I mean, Bradley Cooper. Those are. If we ever talk about in life, I don't care what career it is, securing the bag, that is it.
Yeah.
That is it, because all you have to do, like Bradley Cooper has a little bit more work than Vin Diesel, because he has to have emotion. Like he really has to, even though it's just his voice, he has to act and give you the emotion in the character.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Vin Diesel, bro just says, I am Groot 1,000 times.
Yeah. And then he says it in different languages too, so, good for him.
There was a story that said he almost got fired for not knowing his lines.
What?
I'm about to see if I can find this real quick.
Is this real?
Yes.
How did he didn't know his lines?
Vin
his 3 words?
Yeah.
Although if you count the first movie, it's 5 words. But
No. Yes, we are. Yep.
Yeah.
Almost fire.
and in the last movie, 6 words. Or no, 7. Yeah, 7. I love that story though. How like it's like no, it's just that the fans are the family and understand him finally.
Because it was like, yeah. So there was a tweet. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Because it was in a whole Reddit thread discussing film. He was constantly forgetting his lines. How high do you have to be?
Isn't he in just a recording booth with his line in front of him?
It was here's the best part. It was a Variety article. That's how you know it's real.
Incredible. Almost as incredible as Dwayne being a cameo in Fast 10. That news came out, and God, it's so fucking funny.
But I think it had
you kind of froze,
out.
But
I know. Hold on, let me close this. Oh, there you go. It had to come out because when they did the Rome premiere, you knew it was gonna drop.
It's funny that like so much drama publicly happened between the two of them, and there were things said, and it's just like, nah, I've got Black Adam now. I don't need Fast 10. Oh look, hey, I'm in Fast 10.
I got Black Adam. I don't need this. Hey, you know that shit I said about Black Adam? Listen, I was really off of it. It was too much Terramana. I'm sorry.
It's like, do the right thing, Dwayne. My kids look, they're both real annoying in that whole drama, but like, whatever. I don't get over yourselves.
Well,
make the money, have some fun.
About the punch count sheet, right?
Oh God, yeah. There's they have to have an equal number of punches. The whole the rules for not even just those two, but
that's including Jason Statham.
Oh yeah, not even just but those two were the two with the big egos.
Yes.
As far as we know, But also that no one in the main cast can lose a fight. It's just that's dumb. That's dumb. It's especially with was it Tyrese? He should Roman. Right? He should be the one that say, hey, I want to lose every fight I get into because I am the comic relief character.
You know what?
And it will be that much memorable.
It would. So I'm going to say this in regards to Tyrese. After hanging out with him a couple of weeks ago and listening to him just tell his story, I kind of have a whole new level of respect. So there's this big blurred brunch with all these actors, producers, writers, et cetera, et cetera. It's every weekend out here. And I got finally invited. It's just exclusive shit. You can't just pop up on it. So I'm hanging out. We all chopping it up. And then Tyrese shows up. And so he starts talking his whole story. And the whole time he's talking, I'm sitting there and he's looking at me. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, does he know how much shit I done talked about him on the internet? Please, homie, don't know shit I talked about him on the internet. And so, but he was so cool. And I was like, oh, man. You had it hard, bro.
I regret a lot of the things I said.
I told my homeboy, I said, hey, bro, tell you something. I was glad to see him. Cool dude. Whoo, I was nervous. Because I was
I can imagine. Yeah, and I've never had a problem with him, but his character is the funniest character. He's the one that's always fucking up.
He knows it. He knows what Roman is.
Yeah, but that's why he should lose fights. He should lose fights in the movies, and it would be funny.
Him and Ludacris's character should lose too.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
There are people that should not get beat up. I can see Dom not getting beat up. He's been to jail. He's been hard life. Blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Han should never get beat up. Right.
That's because we love him. Letty beats everyone up. That should be the rule.
Up.
She should have the most punches.
It really should be Letty, Dom, Hobbs, Shaw.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm honestly look, when I watch those movies, every time I'm hoping the villain kicks the shit out of Dom, just because I know the behind the scenes of it all. He cannot lose a fight, and that makes me want him to lose a fight.
Even John Cena takes an ass whooping.
Yeah, it's insane.
Because think about the first episode of Peacemaker, he get the dog shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
And so I wonder.
He's got. Well, he's. Who knows in actuality? But with his movie roles, at least, he seems to be willing to, like, not project himself as one specific way.
Yeah, he does it.
Yeah.
Which makes me, that's what I'm saying. It makes me wonder, what are they doing with. I hope Momoa is not just a I'm gadgets type dude. I'm driving, I'm doing all this, I got these bombs, I got my crew to do everything. I need to know Momoa is hands on with some shit.
I mean, he's Aquaman. You gotta see him punch a dude, right? Hey, you roll your eyes, but Aquaman is still the most successful movie DC has made.
Tis true.
And as someone said, bad movies don't make $1 billion.
You're right. Here's the thing. First of all,
I love Aquaman 1, so...
I love Aquaman 1. I'm not going to even lie.
Yeah.
I actually like Aquaman 1.
It's a fun movie.
It's a fun fucking movie. Because it's an First of all, there's certain movies in life that people need to be like, we got this as it's an Aquaman movie.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
you got, like...
Ant-Man movie. It's an Ant-Man movie. It's an Aquaman movie. So fine. But they say 2 is terrible.
Yeah, it's real depressing, like, all the negative early feedback about it. I'm like, how did you drop the ball? Like, you were set up. You were given a golden goose.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, you had, but I guess because the problem is Venom, for instance, you can't catch lightning in a bottle and hold it. Venom 1 worked for people, right? Venom Let There Be Carnage is abysmal.
Ah, man, it's still fun.
So for me, after I accepted what Venom was, going into Venom Let There Be Carnage, when I accepted what Venom was, all right, this is Tom Hardy getting a paycheck and he is having a motherfucking ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Accepted that.
Yeah, I think we've talked about how, like, Woody Harrelson being a live-action cartoon character didn't work for you. When he worked for me, he tongued a person to death, so I'm all on board.
But also, I just didn't like the relationship of I didn't like the relationship of Woody and Carnage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about the comics Carnage, so, like, this was fine for me. But I also don't care about comics Venom either, so...
Carnage is a mass murderer Carnage is so sadistic because that's why him and Cletus are a perfect bond.
Yeah, but, like, this is the typical 90s action movie, so the villain's gotta die, so they can't be perfect, you know?
Yeah, but now we're about to get, what the fuck is dude's name? Toxic, I think.
Yeah, and look...
Third symbiote, third symbiote.
I mean, that's all they've got. It's all they've got, really. I mean, you can't really have them go up against other Spider-Man villains, because then they'll just die, because Venom kills everyone. He is the lethal enforcer. Lethal protector.
He is also should be wanted for several counts of murder from jumping from body to body, killing people.
Oh, sure, but they can't prove anything, so... That was all Carnage.
Venom, it's just bodies laying on the street.
Look, also, look, Venom had a gay pride coming out in 2. It rules.
Okay, that was the weirdest shit ever. Because it was just like, because I remember watching, I was like, wait, did Venom just come out without coming out? You should be able to love who you love. What? Wait, what is
rules? It's incredible.
It was just the way it was done because everybody else was confused too. Watching everybody, even in the scene, was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Because everybody at that party was like, "Oh, this is just a rave, bro. Like we just chilling. Like this is just a rave. We kicking it. You like you should be able to be who you want to be and love who you love." Everybody, what the fuck is this? I remember coming out like Venom just. Like, Venom just said he loves Eddie without saying he loves Eddie. Like,
yeah, look, they clearly love it. That's the movie. It's a love story between Eddie and Venom.
And Anne is in the way.
Yeah.
In the way.
Yeah, she really is. She's got her own man. She's fine.
Why is there always a movie? Why does a movie... And I get sometimes this happens in real life. I will admit this. But when movies do this whole... The guy has a girl. The guy does something stupid. The girl, they separate. The girl finds another man. She's happy. She's finna get married. But now the guy starts to be redeeming, and now she questions all her life choices.
Because it's fiction, mostly? I don't know what to tell you.
Hmm. I'm always, it's confusing to me because it's always like, just be like, okay, you changed, but I'm still with him. It's always the guy who she now wants to get back with has to be, no, you're better off with him now.
Ugh. Like, yeah, is that believable? No, not really.
No, because ain't no dude for to say you better off with him.
Have you ever seen The Baxter?
No, I can't say
It
that.
was like Michael Showalter, I think Michael Ian Black's also in it, and the other Michael probably directed it.
Okay.
But like also Paul Rudd's in it. But like it's the movie about like, hey, it opens up. Hey, in those romantic comedies, how there's always like, the fiance is with like this guy, but then the ex comes back into town, and then at the end of the movie, she leaves, her fiance for the old ex. Well, my grandmother had a word for that, the Baxter. And she told me all my life, don't be a Baxter. And he's basically, like, the main character is basically that role.
Oh, Jesus. I gotta watch this.
I think it's like Elizabeth Banks is the female lead. But yeah, it's just like trying desperately to hold on to his fiance. And also at the same time, like, her ex comes back into town. Of course, he's perfect. But like at the same time he meets this other girl, so of course it's a romantic comedy, and the ending is real choice. It's a real good ending. I don't want to spoil it in case you do watch it, but
Okay, I gotta see this. I've gotta see this because this is I gotta see that. Okay,
yeah,
I get it.
it's very fun.
Did you
cute.
see what I
It's
was
cute.
talking about? Did you see what I was talking about with those first reactions from Flash? How the majority of people were like, "Damn, this is good." Like the one I hated was Frosty from Collider when he was like, I know they made some mistakes. It's like, motherfucker, those ain't mistakes.
I haven't like seen any reactions. I heard some negative things, but I'm like, dude, it's not even out yet. I don't know where people. But again, I wasn't like listening to critics or anything. It was just
because mainly critics and people who just got their 10 CinemaCon. So the problem is, some people who said it was negative, I knew. Knowing the people that I saw that said it was negative, I was like, you went in, unfortunately, with the negative Ezra Miller perception, which is fair, right?
yeah. I mean,
So no matter what,
both you and I also had that. So
right. But I've also told myself, because I have that, I have to try, if I'm gonna watch this, to watch it without that. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
it's so easy knowing how I feel about Ezra as a person to sit there and be like, well, I don't give a fuck what they do on screen.
Yeah, like me watching Shazam 2 is like, God, I fucking hate Zachary Levi right now because, he was being he's a huge piece of shit apparently. But that movie, fucking like,
what does Zachary Levi do?
well, he's a big Jordan Peterson defender, and Jordan Peterson's a huge transphobe. So,
okay.
Also like, when I found out he's not Jewish and he just chose the name to be successful in Hollywood, I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, what?
He's not Jewish.
Oh, please. Let me go ahead. Oh, please. Wait. No, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. Hold.
Yeah. Jay's just learning something new. Also, I think so he made the one comment about, I think it was Pfizer, but like, Pfizer as a company is not great.
Wait.
I think Levi's his middle name or something.
Yes. So that's not a bad thing because a lot of people's names are their first and middle name.
Yeah. But he does present himself a certain way. And I have many Jewish friends who, when they found out he's not Jewish, were like, what the fuck?
I'm a divorce. Smelled by the struggles. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
And then I remember there were some comments from people that worked with him on like this one. They were working on this podcast, and he was a guest, and he was real drunk and doing a lot of racial comments, apparently. So
this is what I see right here. It says it. So he's openly been saying he was Christian since 2002.
Yeah,
he's openly said that, right?
And like people just, he wasn't a mega star, so like people just did not know.
So this is what it says. Though he has no Jewish ancestry, Levi is often incorrectly perceived to be Jewish due to his stage name. That's not his fault, right? And he
Yeah,
says
yeah.
in
But
2016, no, in 2016, he says he claimed that he had been turned down for a number of roles because he was considered too Jewish for the part. So it's not his fault. So, because the way you told me, I'm like,
yeah, but he did choose to make this his stage name.
but it's his middle name, though. You can't. I can't. No, you can't fault him for that. It's his actual. It'd be a different ball game. It'd be a whole different ball game if if Levi wasn't in a part of his name at all.
Okay, I'll grant you that, but on top of all the other stuff, it makes me go, huh.
Also, Levi is a more Amish name as well.
I mean,
you hear Levi heavily in Amish community. I
mean, yeah, but like it's historically from Leviticus, so
of course. But but again, you hear people in Amish communities named Levi a lot. Now, Levi, as far as a last name, is a Jewish thing. I understand that, but knowing his last name, which also makes fucking sense, why he's Zachary Levi and Florence Pugh, because Pugh is his actual last name.
You mean her last name?
No, Pugh is his last name.
Oh, okay. All right. Are they dating? No, she's dating some other dude that's way too old for her. I know that much.
They used to date. They used to date. So it was also,
that girl needs better taste. I'm just saying.
So that was the thing. So I get what you and a lot of other people, but it's like you can't be mad at somebody. Like Whoopi Goldberg is a whole different ballgame. That woman's name is Karen Johnson. Okay, that's a whole different ball game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a whole fucking name. He just most people's names are their first and middle name.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just uses middle names. So
look, there's a lot of other stuff going on with him that like I can be.
Minus the Jordan Peterson, but minus the Jordan Peterson shit, which I get is a major thing. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. But on top of again, he's never denied he's Christian. He said it in 2002. Yeah. That's been an open thing. So when people sit there and say, "Oh, he's acting like he's Jewish," no, he's always said who he is. That's the thing about the internet, though. I always talk about people will, look, there's a reason to not like him now because of the Jordan Peterson thing.
Oh yeah,
it's a fair reason. But when it comes to his last name, people are like, "Oh, well, he's trying to be Jewish." The man never said he was. That's the internet was like, "Oh." All
right, look, there's still many reasons to dislike him though, because when he was talking about Pfizer, it turned out it was a COVID denier type situation. So it's just like, oh great, another one.
I'm just saying, but the thing about pharma, I didn't think it was a COVID denier thing.
So people went into it and basically I don't know, the Jordan Peterson of it all, who is also a COVID denier. Mm-hmm. So it's just all right, you put 2 and 2 together. Yes, Pfizer as a big pharma is bad. There's no denying that, but also that tied with your Jordan Peterson standing, it's just making me doubly question that post.
That's
because it's vague enough, but there's a connection elsewhere.
But that's fair. That part is
fair. My point is that movie's great, and it makes me mad that DC Comics has not done anything as good with those characters. But that's because Jeff Johns created them, and Jeff Johns is not a good writer. So
here's the problem with Jeff Johns.
Oof, you want to get into it? I could give you a link to an article about a history of Jeff Johns and his maybe unintentional racism, but
I've heard personal stories about that. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, maybe less than unintentional.
I've heard personal stories. It's oblivious racism. You have some people who grown up a certain way and been around a certain way and don't realize when they say certain shit that they're just so used to saying shit that they don't realize yo, do you realize how the fuck that comes off?
Yeah.
And then it's oh, but I didn't mean it like that, bro. You need to really think.
Oh yeah, and this is what it was an article from one of those old comic book review websites, probably CBR. Yeah. But it was by Chris Sims, and it was going down when Infinite Crisis was coming out in the mid 2000s. Jeff Johns wrote a lot of it, probably the majority of it, and he said Alexander Luthor, of course, is the villain, and when people say, well, it's the villain saying it, so you shouldn't take it serious, I'm that's not how writing works, buddy. There's still subtext. But he's basically listed off all of like the new legacy characters that were all of a different ethnical background other than white, and said no, they were all supposed to be from some other Earth. They're not supposed to be from the main Earth. And it's just like, hey, do you realize what you just said here? Without like,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The things he says, it does to him. He doesn't understand. To him, in his brain is, well, I just made them from other planets, and it's like, bro, you're basically saying black people don't exist on Earth.
Yeah, you're like saying, no, Jason Rush shouldn't be Firestorm because he's black. That's basically how it can. He shouldn't be the main comics Firestorm because he's black. Kyle Rayner shouldn't be Green Lantern because he's Hispanic. Like, and there's a bunch of them that he lists off too. Like Blue Beetle. It's like, no, they should all be the old white people.
I pray to God that Warner Brothers, Discovery, whatever the fuck they're gonna be called, they do not drop the ball with that movie, because that movie, they need to promote the fuck out of it.
Which, The Flash or
no, Blue Beetle?
Oh God, yeah. That trailer, the teaser trailer, looks so good.
I have one problem with the trailer.
Yeah, I
wish they wouldn't have showed his first transformation.
Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's nothing we can control, but I think it's like a cool hook, though.
But it's always one of those things where, like, you can show like the initial starts of it, how it happens, like the shit coming out his back, and then cut to something else. But that's always a big reveal in comic books, or comic book movies now. Their first introduction to their abilities and shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I felt like that should have been saved. But don't get me wrong, I think it's still a whole bunch more shit to see.
Yeah, look,
I think it's a whole.
He made a Buster sword. It ruled. That giant ass sword, fucking
giant ass Final Fantasy sword was like, yeah, let's go.
It's incredible.
But I hope I hope that they promote the fuck out of it and market it to just not just be like, oh, let's put this shit on in just Hispanic channels. Like, market the fuck out this shit.
Like, it's not hard, people. Like, market things if you want them to be successful.
But for some reason, there's this beautiful thing in America, and I use that term very
especially like, for minorities. Like, hey, this is it's not probably, I don't think it's the first Hispanic superhero, but like, okay.
Blockbuster, yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I mean, America Chavez wasn't really the lead.
She star. Yeah, she was the star. She was. That's the thing. That's why this is such a big fucking deal. He's the first. Well, he's the first live action. The first is Miles Morales.
Oh yeah.
He's the first live action, because that's been a big argument. That was a big argument on Twitter, because people's like, oh, we got the first Latino superheroes. Like, no, you won't do that. You will not, because there's always been this thing of people dismissing Afro Latinos.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you will not dismiss Miles Morales. You can say the first live action.
Yeah, look, there's many ways to argue that they're not, because look, if you go back to like, was it the 60s and the El Santo movies, those are considered superhero movies. The wrestlers, El Santo,
he's a wrestler,
yeah, he's the wrestler, but in the movies, he's basically just a superhero. So, like, look, like, there's clearly an earlier Hispanic superhero. It's just not a DC Comics or Marvel Comics.
And it's not a blockbuster movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there at the time, so they may have been blockbusters, but I wasn't alive, and also I didn't live in Mexico, so.
This is true.
Yeah.
Neither one of us did. I mean, I just, I want to see. I think that's going to be good. I was just talking to somebody, and we were talking about Indiana Jones, and I was like, I care less about that movie. I was like, why? I was like, because I don't give a fuck about 80-year-old Harrison Ford.
I mean, I'll see it. I like a fun pulp adventure. The lady looks cool. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what I just wish they would have done. Like, and I'm always gonna lament this, and I know why Lucas has talked about it, because he thought the Mummy franchise was just gonna carry the ball. It was gonna carry the torch. But then it stopped after 2, took a break for 3, and the 3 wasn't that great. And it's just like, you could have just like kept doing Indiana Jones, but like just recasting. Like, in my opinion, the James Bond method, recast actors. Like you did with The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, and that TV show rules, and it's annoying that I can't find it anywhere. Like, Oh yeah, it's not anywhere for streaming or purchase.
They pulled that shit from everyone.
Rights issues or something, who knows? And I always make the joke of like, you know, like who they should have cast as Solo for in the Solo movie was shit, I can't remember, Sean Patrick Flannery, because he played young Indiana Jones.
Oh shit, man, that would have been a nice one.
I'm like it's he's probably a bit still like currently he's too old to play young Han Solo, but like it amused me as a joke.
I saw Solo, of course, and then when I saw Cocaine Bear, and saw that the dude in Cocaine, I was like, wait, why does dude look familiar? And then I had to look at things. I was like, wait, all night. I was like, is that motherfucking the dude who played Young Solo is in Cocaine Bear? I was like, you know what? That's a move.
Good for him.
Did you watch Cocaine Bear?
No, I haven't seen it.
You just said pulpy fun for an hour and a half.
Okay, look, it did not look like a pulp action adventures. I'm like, I'm not going to the movie theater for that.
It knows what it is.
Yeah.
Because again, the story is the bear really died in like 90 minutes of its all organ shut.
That makes sense. That makes sense. If the bear eats a lot of cocaine, that kind of makes sense.
But this motherfucker on cocaine, this cocaine amps this bear up. This bear is like, yeah. And this bear just got to get more cocaine. This bear is a fiend. This bear's all about more cocaine. This bear sniffs cocaine in the air. It ain't even sniffing out bodies. This is cocaine. Like, it's sniffing out cocaine in the air. I was like, yo, this is great. Because now they are about to do, and I saw something about it, they're finna do like basically the drug-induced animal universe. Because,
look, Hollywood, stop. On one hand, I appreciate the ridiculousness of it. On the other, you don't need to keep making franchises. I'm like Spiral from X-Men. I got lots of hands. On another, hey, bring back low-budget movies, which this might be, but like, remember like in the 80s when there was like a glut of low-budget sword and sorcery and fantasy movies, and they just like feels like they don't exist anymore. Bring those back. Or I'm told they do exist, but they're all on Tubi, so I have to check out Tubi more. But so let
me tell you something. Tubi has become my go. I talk shit about Tubi because as a black person, every horrible black movie lives on Tubi. That's good. However, there was some shit on Tubi. I was like, there's a Wolf Cop 2 on Tubi. Yes, there's Wolf Cop 2 on Tubi. There's like so much shit. You like, what the fuck is this? And it's on to all these movies on to. I think the problem is
it's like Netflix in the early days. You're just like, let's see what weird shit's on Netflix.
And all the shit you used to find weird on Netflix is over on Tubi.
Yeah, I used to watch Queen of Swords on Tubi, which was like this old UPN TV show.
There's a couple shows I grew up with that I started finding, but they were on Roku. Like there's a show Time Tracks, and I used to watch it as a kid.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, it's got like the different colors to send them back in time or to kill. Oh, red is dead. And they're like, no.
If you get hit with too many pills, you'll actually die.
Yep.
And so it's on the Roku channel.
Okay.
I watched Time Tracks. I watched the original World of the Worlds series. There was a World of the Worlds series. That shit was actually good because it was like. Remember how we talked about what Venom did to people? How Venom went from body to body and the body just laid out? In War of the Worlds, when the aliens leave your body, your shit is just goo. Like it's like once an alien's in you, you're gone. There's no like Venom. Remember Venom. If your body accepts the symbiote, you can live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just gotta like eat brains or chickens and chocolate.
And then you can just be a regular person because Eddie Brock's life is just normal. You know, Eddie Brock. So World of Worlds is on there. Oh my god, I found so many old movies on Tubi though that I just
I need to go to Tubi more often, is what I hear. So
Tubi is where I found my old cartoons.
Nice.
Tubi is where I found my old cartoons. I've been rewatching Transformers G1 just because I wanted to get through it again. Because I was like, yeah. Because of the rise of the BC.
BC's reaction to finding out you're a big Transformers head was the same as mine. I was like, I had no idea because Jay never talks about this stuff.
Man, I am a die-hard Transformers fan. Like, I'm not like
Are you just as upset that Optimus Primal is not the actual voice actor that played Optimus Primal? Because I have other friends that are very upset by that.
I'm not. You know what?
Because Peter Cullen is Optimus Prime in the movies, but
Yes.
like they didn't get actual Primal.
So here's my thing with it. I was upset at first, but it's Ron Perlman, so I will accept it.
Oh, that's fair. I do love Ron.
You know what I'm saying?
Ron's
It's
incredible.
It's Ron Perlman, so I can be mad, but I can't be that mad.
Yeah.
It's Ron Perlman. I'm
Also, like, I had no idea this movie was about Unicron. So I was like, I guess I have to see this Transformers movie.
When I saw it was Unicron, that's my reaction in the trailer. When I saw Unicron, I was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, how's this gonna work?
Well, the thing is too, because like,
what's that human gonna do against Unicron?
Because
Nothing.
The Terracons, I guess they didn't want to call them Predacons. Like, you couldn't call them Predacons like in Beast Wars. And also, Predacons are a group of 5 that unite to form Predaking. But the Terracons are a group of 5 that unite to form Abominus. So it's like, all right, I guess. I do want, my thing is, if I get another combiner, I just need somebody to give me a combiner that doesn't look like a deformed monkey that Devastator was.
And isn't a giant joke for testicles, I guess?
Yes.
Because, man, what a disappointment.
Very disappointing.
It's like, it's Devastator. Oh, it's a joke. It's just a joke.
As Devastator.
And it gets taken out by human gun? Okay. All right.
The railgun shoots Devastator, and granted, if you catch Devastator off guard anyway, no matter whether it's a regular gun, like
yeah, but like you want a cool fight, you know? Like that's what we want.
The Dinobots. I don't get a me Grimlock. Fuck this whole movie.
Yeah, seriously. Also, like, here's the problem that they have set themselves up for failure. You're coming in with Unicron. But you got to compare yourself to the '80s Transformers the movie and its soundtrack. And if you don't have a soundtrack as good as that movie, like, you don't have the Transformers theme or the Stan Bush.
You got the time.
Yes.
You got the power. I think here's the thing.
You could do that with Bumblebee. Bumblebee could play on his radio.
We're gonna get it. That's what I'm saying. I think Stephen Cable Jr. knows from what he's done, what I've seen, what he's been doing. I think he's gonna give us that in some way or form. Okay. We're not gonna get it planned fully, but you're gonna get it. You got the touch somewhere.
Bring Eric Idle back just as a cameo for Wreck-Or. Or whatever.
Give me here, just speaking in just commercials and shit.
Yeah.
See, like, I just want, my only thing I want out this whole movie, there's just one thing I want. I just want Rat Trap.
Oh.
Because they've showed me Cheetor, they've shown me Rhinox, they've shown me Optimus Primal. I'm fine with Air Razor, cool, because it's not silver. He's not silver bone, all that. You didn't give me, because you can't give me Dinobot.
I know, I'm so sad.
Dinobot.
But
if I don't get motherfucking Rat Trap, I'm going to be furious.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm sad because, like, Bumblebee is such a good movie, and I'm like, I really want Haley Steinfeld to come back to the Transformers franchise, but I don't think that works with timelines. Because that movie is set in the 80s.
Wait, Bumblebee is?
Yeah, wasn't Bumblebee set in the 80s?
Yeah, and this one is set in...
like, current time period, right?
It's the current day, right?
It'd have to be post-Transformers 1 through 4? Or 3?
So here's the thing from what I'm...
Was there a time travel situation? I don't know.
I don't think the Bay universe exists anymore.
Okay.
I think it's Bumblebee now.
Okay, look...
Because the reason Bumblebee...
Put Haley Steinfeld in more things and I'll be happy. You can bring John Cena back too. I'll be fine with him too.
I'm fine with him too. The reason Bumblebee ends the way it ends with the connection to 1 is because they didn't know it was that just in case people don't rock with it.
Also, like, it's funny because if you think of it as a prequel to 1, it doesn't make sense because in 1 we see when Optimus crashes.
That's right. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It was there.
Like, Bumblebee was supposed to be there a long time. That's why they find him in the junkyard.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie fucking rules. I love Bumblebee.
Bumblebee was great.
Yeah.
Bumblebee was great. Like I said, that's why I'm so excited. Because my thing is, my biggest part, I hated, like I understood in the cartoon, right? The size thing when they transfer, like Megatron is massive as a robot, but this motherfucker compresses all the way down to a gun, right?
Yeah.
But a gun for a robot to hold, not a gun just
Yeah.
to a gun.
Still a giant robot holds that pistol.
He's a
Yeah.
giant robot holding a gun. Now, Soundwave and Blaster, those were the only ones I was like, all right, because these motherfuckers turned into regular size radio.
Yeah.
Right? Fine.
Alien magic. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you. But then when Michael Bay was like, well, we're not going to do any size altering and shit like that, I was like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, what's the point of Soundwave unless he turns into cassette player?
I don't give a fuck about Ravage if Ravage is not a tape. Laserbeak is not a tape. If you don't give me Rumble and Frenzy around this motherfucker as tapes, I don't care. And then let me get a blaster eventually. You know, I just don't, I get mad.
Like,
as a Transformers fan, I get mad at shit like this.
Yeah, my best friend, also a huge Transformers fan. I think he's got, like, him and his wife were, like, on maybe their honeymoon. I don't know, they got, like, a Generation 1 Soundwave, and they've got it, like, up on top of their liquor cabinet. He's got, like, a bunch of different sound waves.
My buddy, he sent me a video. He got, he bought a G1 Devastator.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yo. So what I want, I think one of my biggest purchases for myself when I get some real money, I'm going to buy me a G1 Predaking. Like, Devastator is obvious, right? I saw a G1 Predaking, and that motherfucker is beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's like $300. I was like, it is not that beautiful.
Yeah. I was always like, I was a G.I. Joe kid growing up. And like, I had Transformers, I think. I don't remember, actually. But like, yeah, G.I. Joe was way easy for me to relate to. So, and then they recently started making 6-inch G.I. Joes that are the same size as Marvel Legends. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I didn't buy all of them because they're very expensive. I'm like, but I'll get all the women because there's way less women than there are dudes in G.I. Joe. So I've got like, look, Baroness, Lady J, Scarlet, and there's CoverGirl, and then also Zorana. And that's basically it.
Yeah, because I couldn't get past Lady J, Baroness, and fucking
Scarlet.
And Starlet. I couldn't get past the three of them.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, who the fuck else?
I mean,
would only get Destro because Destro was black. You couldn't
Destro rules. Like, Destro is the funniest thing to me because, like, I love Destro. Destro, cool as hell. He got a silver face mask that lips move with his face. Sure, no problem. But like, historically, canonically, he is from Scotland. But the way those cartoons and his voice, I'm like, wait, how is this man Scottish? How? So like, what?
Did you ever pay attention to how racist our cartoons were back in the 80s? Because especially when they did, and I got to get ready to wrap as soon as I got to do a self-tape, especially when they had to do like any Eastern Asian accents, you knew it was a white dude doing it.
Oh yeah, look, it was all, look, I love Storm Shadow and I love Spirit, but like, hey, maybe they shouldn't have written so many episodes with them. And they're always nemesis in the cartoons. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know how familiar you were with Thundercats. There's a dude in the Thundercats, Hachi Man.
Oh,
and
boy.
Oh my God. You're like, oh.
Look, I've watched old Disney movies. I know all about racism and voice acting. Look.
Hey there, sir.
Society was not good for a long time for about a lot of things.
For a lot of people.
Yeah. But G.I. Joe, look, why is it so hard to make a good G.I. Joe movie? I mean, I like the first live action one. I recognize why people don't like it, because it's dumb. Snake Eyes, I had fun, but also pretty dumb. The one with The Rock, that's bad. It's not good. I hate it.
Yeah, which was that? The second one, right?
Yeah, Renegade. It wasn't Renegade. Retaliation.
Because the problem is, instead of taking
Oh, here's my problems. I want to explain my problems
Go ahead.
before. So, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, starts off and sets up, oh, here's the introduction of Cobra Commander. And at the movie, he ends, he's captured. And I'm like, okay, the second one, he's going to break out. We're going to have, like, full-on Cobra. And, like, hey, there's Destro. But then, like, Cobra Commander gets broken out, and he's not played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt anymore, so like you don't see his face at all. But then when he's broken out, he turns to Destro, who is also in like a cryo tube or we're in the prison, and he says, "Destro, you're out of the band." And I'm like, "What the fuck is this? Are you fucking serious right now?"
I didn't watch it. I'm so glad I didn't watch it now.
Like I think RZA's in it as Snake Eyes' master, and like. His performance in that movie made me not see The Man with the Golden Arms. So I was just, or like that the Dave Bautista movie. Yeah. I was like, damn, this acting is so bad that I don't want to see this other movie. But like Jinx is, Jinx, there's another lady in G.I. Joe. There we go. But yeah, she's great. Elodie Young, she's always fun as a martial arts lady.
Yeah.
Ray Park, great. Storm Shadow, great.
Yeah, he's great at Storm. Yeah, Ray Park worked. So.
But yeah, like. Also, like, so many people in the first movie just get killed off so quickly, and I'm like, damn, G.I. Joe's supposed to be good at what they do? Like...
These motherfuckers aren't supposed to just be expendables.
I'm okay with not having Channing Tatum, but...
Yeah. The thing is, you get too many movie execs who...
Oh, you froze. Well, that's all the time we have, I guess. Says we're still up. I don't know what's going on, if it's my end or not. There's the loading circle. Okay, I see you now.
I was just sitting here like I don't know what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, you said movie execs, but
so movie execs, they hear an idea, right? So somebody says, let's just make a G.I. Joe movie. And some movie exec probably is like, oh, the thing I used to like when I was a kid. And somebody's like, yes. So like, so what do we do? How do we make it a movie? And somebody's like, all right, let's just make the cartoon. And then somebody else who just has no idea is like, well, we can't just turn the cartoon into a movie, right? We got to have more to it and more depth. And then when you sit back and look at G.I. Joe, it has the depth you fucking need.
Yeah. Like, so in my opinion, when you go back to 80s cartoons, well, yes, there is racism. The plots of G.I. Joe, the cartoon, were very good because they were written by a lot of comic book writers at the time. So
Yes. But listen, I got to get ready to wrap it up so I can get in this damn self-tape before I fuck this up. I got to move the camera. I apologize for cutting you off first and foremost. I apologize. Tell the people how they can find you and everything you got going on as always.
I'm on Twitter until it dies at Jolene -. I'm on Instagram. I'm not going to bother with Twitch. You can find my podcast, Divas of Design, also Twitter, Instagram. It's a podcast, so you can find it on YouTube, but also where you find audio podcasts.
So go ahead and make sure you find her everywhere. Y'all know where to find me because you're here. Holla at y'all next time. Don't go nowhere. Take care. I'm out. Bye.